Ready or not, here I come.
Adjust this just a little bit.
You can't hide. I think it's a little too low.
Hold on. We're gonna get this together.
There's a lot
What's
going
up,
on
y'all?
here, baby. There you go. I think. Oh,
Oh, oh, oh.
it's a lot going on here, boy. I think you got it. There you go. It's gonna have to do.
What's going on,
That's
everybody?
gonna have to do.
Got a little bit of everything going on right there. Oh, let me. Where's the
Oh,
iPad?
oh, iPad and then the cards.
Oh my goodness, y'all, we are not together tonight. Hold on.
No, no. I'm together. I got tea. What's up? Oh, got a lot going on tonight. It's late, isn't it? It's late night. Just trying to get ourselves together. Just had a session, so
Yeah, a beautiful session, by the way.
yeah, that was a beautiful session.
I'm back, y'all. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna get everything up and running. We're just gonna make sure that the feed is coming through strong because we don't want to lose y'all. And with it already being 10 o'clock our time and 11 o'clock on the East Coast, hopefully we don't keep y'all too long this evening.
It's a little late, but it's okay. Everybody might just be laying in bed, just relaxing anyhow.
hmm But hey, this is a good time to take in some information as far as learning the archetypes.
We're gonna be talking about the 12 archetypes, energy signatures from Carl Jung. It was really interesting because we're going to dive into the archetypes and how you can actually work with the archetypes
hmm
to help to feel more fulfilling, in life, knowing when to use certain energy signatures. So that's pretty much what we're going to talk about. And then, as usual, we'll do some card reading if you guys would like at the end.
Yes. So, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
If you are new to this channel, we definitely ask that you do subscribe. And if the information that we're sharing along the way tickles your fancy, give us that thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
All right. And for those of you all who don't know, I'm Chris.
And I'm Alicia.
What
What
up?
up?
All right, y'all. Now, as you see from the subject line on this video, we're talking about integrating your archetypes.
Yes.
And we're going to be diving into the different archetypes. And these archetypes are just different personalities that we embody from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And in knowing these different archetypes that are within all of us, it can allow you to expand yourself a little bit more, get
Mm-hmm.
to know who you are, and really shake some stuff up.
Yeah, it can even help you with shadow work too.
hmm
It can really help you to uncover some of your gifts that you have laying like dormant.
hmm
And it's just like little techniques that you can use in life just to help you to expand and grow and feel
hmm
more fulfilled.
Yep. Yep. And so, since it is late, we probably will have some people jump on a little bit later, and we'll just kind of circle back around if need be. Hopefully, we get enough people jumping in where we won't have to do that. All right. So we're going to jump right into it. So there are 12 different archetypes, and these are just different personalities that people can embody from time to time. And within those 12, there are like four different sections. What do you call those sections again, baby? It's
They have one for the spiritual journey. There's specific archetypes that they set aside for your,
hmm
specifically for your spiritual path. And those, we did take note of them, and I'm gonna just read them out to y'all. So when you're on your spiritual journey, these are
hmm
the archetypes that you're gonna either want to embody, like these energy signatures you're gonna want to embody, or you might just have it naturally.
hmm
It's the innocent, And so the innocent, that's one of the archetypes. And that deals with kind of like safety, security. You know how some people just like to do a whole lot of reading and research, but they don't do nothing. They
Mm-hmm.
just reading. They done read 22 self-help books. So that archetype is known as the innocent. And then you have the sage, which is very common in your spiritual growth. So, the
Yes.
sage is always associated with wisdom and knowledge, and, they give good advice, and they have all their DNA strands activated from 16 lifetimes ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you have the explorer, and the explorer represents, freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's not afraid to just maybe pick up and go live in Australia and they don't know anybody there. You
Just
know,
ready to dip sit.
you just very very free mindset, like you embody a sense of freedom. You don't
Mm-hmm.
let anything hold you back. And so that's the sec right there for your spiritual journey, those energy signatures.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a little bit of notes while I was studying this. And as far as the sage, I guess you want to know, well, how, like, what the hell is these energy signatures, and how is it relevant to me, and how can I use them?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the energy signatures, you use them like this. So you might not be a person who's very good at, let's say, expressing your anger in a
Mm-hmm.
healthy way, right? You might not know how to
Yeah,
express your
that's it
anger,
in a healthy way.
right? So, what these energy signatures could do is, for the archetypes, you can probably, and there are different, there is lots of, personality archetypes, lots and lots. We just picked the 12 major ones from
Mm-hmm.
Carl Jung, but it's so much more that you can look up in Google. Now, for you, if you don't know how to express yourself when you're angry in a healthy way, you can look up maybe a god or a goddess
Mm-hmm.
that
Embodies
that
that.
embodies that, and then you can look to see how do they do it, and
Mm-hmm.
not for you to be like them, not at all. This
Mm-mm.
is you discovering you, because we all have these archetypes that lay dormant within each and every one of us.
Yes. Yes,
All
and
right.
this actually goes back to the true meaning of yoga, which is understanding that we're all a part of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And these archetypes are all a part of us.
Yeah.
So even if you do find a god or a goddess or anything like that that you want to embody or emulate, this is not something where you go and you ask for their permission.
Yeah.
They are actually eager to um, want to be able to be expressed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go to them. Well, not so much go to them. I guess that's
No,
not the word. That's not what I'm looking for. You
it's not a
can,
worship. It's not a go-to. It's
yeah.
just you observing. Okay, take for instance, let's say somebody's good at playing basketball. You want to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to play basketball. You're okay at playing basketball,
Mm-hmm.
but you would go and look at someone who's really good and look at their techniques and look at what they're doing, like how are you able to
There you
shoot
go.
this many shots?
There
What
you
are you
go.
doing? And so you look at them and you study them to see how they're shooting these shots, so that you could now go and you can master that within your own self,
Mm-hmm.
not to be like them or worship them. It's just how do you develop that within your own self.
There you go. Perfect. Right on point.
Yeah, because we don't want anybody out here
No, we don't want y'all out there
worshiping
worshiping.
anybody.
No. Look up to no one, look down on no one.
Yes, she said, taking all about image was the
Yeah. Talking all about image.
talking all about image. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the three for the spiritual journey. So you have the innocent, the sage, and the explorer.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is the one when you want to leave a mark on this planet, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Which a
everybody
lot of
wanna
us are.
we want to go out with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be remembered. You want to leave your mark, your signature. So the archetypes that you work with for that would be like liberation. You might want to go start some type of freedom movement. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But liberation, like kind of like be an outlaw, so to speak, like thinking outside of the matrix, thinking outside of the box, lifting people up. Another one is the magician.
Mm-hmm.
The magician kind of represents a certain set of power, right? And the thing with the magician, they're good at regeneration and making things new again,
And
right?
the alchemist.
Being that you exactly being the alchemist,
Mm-hmm.
and they're constantly growing, and they're doing transformation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one to leave your mark is the hero. That's another archetype. Learning how to get in touch with that energy signature within yourself, the hero. That's another kind of mastery.
Right.
Self mastery, if you want to say it like that. And so the hero is always out there trying to help someone, trying to save someone, trying to rescue someone. Just kind of knowing how to use these archetypes in different situations or circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
so you can be whole.
Right. Yeah. And then for the for the next one, we're looking into like another archetype is being the lover. You
Mm,
know, you're the type of
yeah.
person that and it's not so much the intimacy. Intimacy is a part of it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
more of a type of mothering type of love. You know, you
Yeah.
want to really learn how to embody that, how to really unconditionally accept everybody for who they are and accept them for who they are and love them no matter what they are.
Right. And this one is this other set of archetypes. This one helps you to connect with others.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like four subcategories. This one is in with connecting with other people around you. So the first one will be the lover, the
Yes.
twin flames, the soulmates.
Right, right, right. Yeah, a lot of people want to be like that.
Yeah. And so yeah, so you have
Yes.
to find an archetype like Venus.
Mm-hmm.
That's the planet that represents love, right?
The
The
goddess.
goddess
Mm-hmm.
Venus. So you might want to do some research on Venus.
Yep. And another archetype, and just to let everybody know that's just checking in, we're just going over the different archetypes and how you can incorporate these into your daily life or use them in a way to really expand yourself and really get to know who you are.
Right, and get to be able to relate to others.
Hmm. And we're going to go down and we're going to break down each one of these archetypes just in a little bit more detail. But we definitely encourage you to go through and do your own research as well. What's going on? What's going on?
Who we got? Who we got?
Welcome in the building, Kim.
Hey, soul family.
Yes, yes, yes. But yeah, we're just breaking down archetypes, and right now we're just going into the four different categories that each one of these 12 archetypes fall into. And right now we're on the archetype that's more in tune with connecting with others.
Yes.
Now, this next archetype is the jester, which is like your
Mm.
comedian, your Kevin Hart's, your Martin Lawrence. Like these people are really able to connect with people on a soul level through
Mm.
comedy.
Yeah.
And so that's one archetype that you can really kind of get into, which I try to sometimes. A lot of times when I try to come up with jokes, they bomb. But a lot of times when I just say stuff out the blue, a lot of people think it's funny, but I don't be thinking it's funny. But it's it happens sometimes. Now, another archetype as far as connecting with others is being an everyman or every woman.
Mm.
These type of people really look to please everybody, I guess, in a certain sense.
Kind of like a people pleaser.
Hmm. And so, and there are a lot of people out there, and a lot of times when you go down that road, you can actually lose who you are.
Yeah.
But in some respect, there is a part of being an every man or every woman that can really play to your benefit. All right. And then the fourth section, as far as archetypes, is providing structure,
Mm.
which is something a lot of us need. And the first one, when it comes to providing structure, is being the caregiver. I mean, this is what we do as parents. If you have kids, you know they have to have some type of structure or they will wild out on you. Okay. The next one is the ruler. This can be your kings, this can be your presidents, this can be your queens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to look and see how they ruled, and you want to see if that's something that's how you want to rule, and then you can incorporate that into your life and use that as something to really help round you out. And then the last one, which is my favorite, which is the artist.
Mm.
Because the artist is everything. They really help you to expand your horizon, and they do provide a lot of structure, but in a lot of ways the artist does it in a very imaginative way, so they can
Yeah.
really get you expanded. So those are just the 4 areas when it comes to archetypes, and once again we're about to go through the 12, but the 4 areas of archetypes, I guess you could say categories of archetypes, is the ones that help you out in your spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Then you have the archetypes that help you leave a mark on this world. And then you have the archetypes that help you connect with others.
Yeah.
And then there are those archetypes that help provide structure for your world, I guess you could say.
Exactly. And again, the whole point of all of this, like, what the hell are you telling us about archetypes for? We don't want to know when's, we want about my twin flame. Don't tell me about no archetypes. But this can actually help on your twin flame journey in knowing these different energy signatures. And then when you see it in someone else, which is really important, because once you can see something inside of yourself, then you can see it in someone else. And then that's the beautiful yoga that they talk about, the union, right? And so one of the key, and I took some notes here, one of the key reasons why it's really important to recognize these archetypes, because it's inside of every last one of us, right? Is you get to explore new and unknown parts of your own self. That's one of the keys to really getting familiar with the different archetypes, if you want to call them personalities.
Right.
You get to experience positive growth within your own life in really important areas for your own self, right? Like your relationship, where you work, your spiritual growth. So it's really important to really pay attention to the archetypes. You get to discover your gifts, your talents, stuff that you forgot about already. Because, you don't think that you might have to be a hero, or you don't think you might have to be a caregiver. But once you dive into that energy signature, you might be surprised as to what you'll uncover.
Yep.
You get to empower yourself. You get to become whole. You get to become like a mature person, and you become more integrated because you don't have all these fragments of yourself that you try to get away from.
Right.
And you get to understand yourself on a much, much deeper level. What's up, Marshawn?
Marshawn in the house. We did this late just for you.
Yes, because we know you don't get off till late.
Yep, yep,
All right,
yep.
and one of the important key points about discovering all of these archetypes is that you get to heal your trauma. You get to heal a lot of old wounds and traumas, and it helps you to live an authentic life.
Excuse me.
Getting to know these different parts of your own self.
All right, so we're about to dive into these different archetypes just so you can. Oh, Marshawn is buffering for you.
Oh,
You gotta get that good connection going.
no. Is it buffering for anybody else?
Yeah, if everybody else, if you can just drop a comment, let us know that we're coming in loud and clear and crystal clear, and we're glowing and everything. Just drop a comment, let us know so we can make sure that we are coming in loud and clear, and that you all are able to hear everything.
Yeah, because we want to make sure you guys can hear us. Nice and clear. Crystal clear. Okay,
Nice.
beautiful.
All right. So going into the first archetype, which is the innocent. Once again, this is one of the archetypes that can help you along in your spiritual journey. Okay. And so when it comes to the innocent, now we have a couple of different things that we're going to break down for each one of these archetypes. And it's going to be the model that's associated with it. It's going to be their core desire, their goals, their greatest fears, and strategies, weaknesses,
Yeah.
talents. I mean, we're going to jump into it.
Yeah, and it's just so you can be able to readily identify them when you see it. And that way you can be like, oh, okay, so that's the role we're playing today. All right, cool. Let me get my
Yeah.
part.
Yep, yep, yep. So for the innocent, now the motto for the innocent is to free to be you and me. When you look into the innocent archetype, this is the type of individual that really respects someone's free will. Okay, they're gonna respect your free will to do what you want to do. If you want to go out and party, they're not going to look down on you. If you want to go out to a rally and protest or whatever, they're going to let you do you. And at the same time, they want you to give them the same respect to let them be them.
Right. So
Okay.
that's an energy signature. So if you're kind of lacking in that area where you're kind of like very controlling and you like to hold on to people and not let them do what they're supposed to do, you might want to look more into that energy signature.
Mm-hmm.
Look up like maybe a goddess or somebody who's really good at doing something like that and look at their technique and see, how did they develop that archetype within themselves.
Yep.
If that's something that you struggle with.
Mm-hmm. Now, their core desire for the innocent is to get to paradise, and that's where we
Mm.
want to go. Like I'm trying to get to the beach, to have my house on the beach where I wake up every morning and I just hear. That's all I want to hear. I get to that point, I'm good. All right, and that's the whole goal of the innocent is to be happy.
Wow.
Okay. Now, here's something that is one of the greatest fears of the innocent is to be punished for doing something bad or wrong.
Ooh.
You know,
That's that fear, that perfectionist thing. And
hmm
sometimes we all can get, I know I do, I get really lodged into that whole perfectionist thing sometimes, but you got to let it
hmm
go. Sometimes you have to know when to let things go because each one of these archetypes there is a downside. There is an upside and there's a downside
hmm
to each one of these archetypes because we have to always remember to try to stay in balance. That's the whole name of the game
hmm
is to try to stay in balance and to know when to use what and how much to use and if to even use it.
Right, right. And speaking of that, the weakness of the innocent is boring for all of their native. Wow, why can't I talk right now? Read that, please.
It says born for all their native their naive, born for all their naive innocence.
Yes.
Yeah, so they get bored. They get bored easily, I guess,
hmm
for the innocent.
Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. And so that is for the innocent. And one of the talents of the innocent is the faith and optimism. They're
Hmm,
always looking for the sunny side of things, looking for that silver lining in the cloud,
that is
right?
beautiful. We should all be like that every day.
All right. And for this next one, the archetype, once again, this is still connecting with what is that, your spiritual journey,
Mm-hmm.
as far as in the category, which is the everyman. And as we go through these, you can see if this is you or not. I know Marshawn pointed out that she's the innocent already, but we on number one. Some of us we actually embody a lot of these at once. So the next one is the everyman, and the everyman's motto is all men and women are created equal.
Mm,
Yes,
I like
because
that.
some people don't believe. Like when you look into other cultures, like over in what is over in Islam in the Muslim community,
I don't know.
like
I'm not naming no names.
I'm okay. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me,
Just
please.
people just say some
Some
different.
some cultures
Yeah,
don't put men and women on the same level.
that's true.
And you know what? I'm actually going as far as to say even in the United States, when
That
you look at
yeah.
the wage gaps between men and women, it is not balanced.
Right.
So the every man, every woman sees everybody as equal.
Hmm.
All right, and they have a desire. Their core desire is connecting with others.
That's beautiful.
You know, so if you're that type of person where you see everybody as equal, a
Mm-hmm.
man can do what a woman does and a woman can do what a man does,
Mm-hmm.
then you're embodying that archetype.
Right. And if not, then again, guys, if you're noticing that there's an archetype that you're struggling with, a certain energy signature that you might be struggling with, again, just go ahead and take note and research. Where can I find this archetype? It might be again, it might be in somebody that you know, it might be in some type of old Greek goddess, it might be in Egypt, in some place.
hmm
But you can find and research that particular person that does embody that archetype, so
hmm
that you can learn from it and you can harness that energy within your own self.
Yep. 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 And now one of the greatest fears of the everyman is to be left out or stand out from the crowd.
Mm.
Now, this can be a little tricky sometimes because we're all unique. So, in some shape, form, or fashion, we should be standing out from
Mm-hmm.
the crowd. I mean, we're not well for the natural people, the ones. Never mind. There are some that were artificially created. So yes, they will blend in with the crowd. But for those, for the most part, a lot of us are going to stand out from the crowd. But this is one of the biggest fears of the everyman
Mm.
because everybody wants to belong.
Right. That's the sense of belonging, but it
Hmm.
shouldn't you shouldn't fear being unique. You should embrace your uniqueness. So that's just a downside of that.
Hmm. Now, some of the strategies for developing this is to develop ordinary solid virtues, be down to earth, and be and provide the common touch.
Mm.
Yeah. Now, one of the weaknesses is because I just went into one of the greatest fears. Now, one of the weaknesses is losing one's own self in an effort to blend in or for the sake of superficial relationships.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
You gotta have that balance. Definitely gotta have that balance.
Hmm.
You can't get wrapped up too much.
Yeah. And this is this is pretty cool because you know how you get me sometimes, and I be saying my old southern sayings.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the everyman is also known as the good old boy,
Wow.
the regular guy or girl, the person next door, the cat down the road, the realist, the working stiff, the solid citizen, the good neighbor,
Oh
the
wow.
silent majority.
Oh wow.
Which, if y'all know us, we're not the silent majority. We are not silent at
We
all.
are the loud.
All right. And then we're gonna go. I'm gonna go into this next one, and I'm gonna let you take over on the
Hmm.
next archetype, which is about leaving your mark. Because I think you're leaving a big mark, baby.
Which one?
I'm about to go into the hero.
The hero.
Hmm.
Yes, that one is the hero is leaving your mark.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Did I
the
skip
hero.
one?
The hero.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That is leaving the mark.
Well, here you
Okay.
go.
So what we got here for the hero, guys? So for the hero, the motto of the hero is where there's a will, there's a way. I guess my mom is a hero because that's all she's always tell me when I was growing up. So I guess she is a hero. That's interesting. So for the hero, the core desire is to prove one's worth through courageous acts. So you always see them doing some crazy stuff, just so they can get the praise and whatever else. The goal is to expect mastery in a way that improves the world. Now
Hmm.
that's important. That aspect right there of the hero, that particular aspect right there is that's vital because
Hmm.
we all here to learn self mastery. So that's a role that you could take up from the hero. Now, the greatest fear of the hero is the fear of weakness, vulnerability, and pretty much being a chicken,
Yeah,
right? But what I learned recently is that being vulnerable is actually a good thing.
it really is.
It is a good thing because when you're vulnerable, you open up. You're not
Hmm.
closed off. You're opened up and you're able to receive and you're able to give in your authentic self. So being vulnerable is actually a pretty good thing.
Yeah, and that's something I actually discovered today on a reflection for myself, because today didn't go as all as I wanted it to go,
Right.
and I had to do some self reflection, and I realized that to a certain degree I was really vulnerable today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the strategies that the heroes used is pretty much to be strong and competent as possible in all things, and that's one of the traits that we could use, right?
Hmm.
Just to be confident and strong in anything that you do. It doesn't matter what it is. Another weakness that they have could be arrogance. Sometimes
Mm.
you get your chest too pumped up. You get arrogant, and you always looking for another battle to fight. You know, See, again, you got to
Hmm.
have this balance, right?
Right.
And this is just the archetype, so you can recognize these archetypes when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
See, all of the traits are not bad, and all of the traits are not good, and it's
Just
really,
is.
it just is, and sometimes it's necessary, and sometimes it's not. You just have to know when to use what. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like the talent for the hero is competence and courage, lots of courage. And
Yeah.
so a lot of these journeys that we have in this life, courage is our best friend.
Courage is definitely
Courage,
needed.
because sometimes you have to have courage. You have to speak even though your voice shakes sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have that courage.
Yeah. So if you're having problems with courage, find you a hero
Find you a hero.
that you think has really done a good job at being a hero.
Yeah.
And in some shape, form, or fashion, you can kind of be a copycat. It's like one of those things, fake it till you make it.
Right,
You
and
know?
then you can look for like a warrior, a crusader, a rescuer, like a superhero, a
Mm-hmm.
soldier, a dragon slayer, a winner, a team player. Any one of those would be considered a hero, and you can
Right.
just look at them and see how they do what they do, and you probably could learn to to strengthen the hero within your own self, not copying from somebody and doing exactly what they do, but just
Mm-hmm.
looking at the techniques and then using it to nurture the own hero that's inside of you.
Right.
The
Nice.
next one that we have is the caregiver, and
Mm-hmm.
this one is with the
Connecting with others.
connecting with others.
Mm-hmm.
So the motto of the caregiver is love your neighbor as yourself. I guess my mom, there she go, caregiver again.
Mm-hmm.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Their core desire in life is to protect and care for others. That's their whole thing,
That's the whole thing.
and their goal is to help others.
Mm-hmm.
Their greatest fear is selfishness and ingratitude. Ooh, that's
Yes.
a biggie. And their strategy is just doing things for others,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and as we go through these, each one of these archetypes actually also embody your masculine side as well as your feminine side.
Mhm.
Because the hero archetype that we just went over, that's more of the masculine energy,
Yeah.
wanting to be the one to come in and save the day and
Mhm.
things of that nature. But then when
Right.
you look into the caregiver, that's more into your feminine side
Right. The
of energy.
nurturing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's again, it's just knowing how to balance these out and when to use what. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The combination. And the weakness of the caregiver, it says being exploited, being taken advantage of, which is,
Mm.
I mean, it's just so easy to take advantage of someone who's just like super nice all
Pouring
the
their heart
time,
out to you.
pouring their heart, and you just, wonder what else I could do. So you got to look out for those type of people,
Yep.
right? And their greatest talent is compassion and generosity. How
Nice.
beautiful is that? And the caregiver is also known as like the saint, like you have your Mother Teresa's, your helpers, your parent, people like that. So if you're
Yep.
having trouble with that type of archetype, just go ahead and look out to see what those type of people do and how they do it.
Yeah. And Marshawn, you definitely got to set boundaries. If you're tired of people taking advantage of your kindness,
Hmm.
cut those people off.
Yeah, you have to set healthy boundaries, and you see,
Mm-hmm.
this is where the different archetypes comes into play. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't just, and this is why we wanted to do the archetypes, because so you can see it within yourself. You can see what signature do you embody the most,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you can use a energy signature, that's not relevant to a certain situation, and
Mm-hmm.
then you get yourself in some stuff you wish you wasn't never there in the first place.
There you
So
go.
you got to know how to use these energy signatures to balance out your circumstances and your situations,
Right.
right? And we telling you the weaknesses of each archetype so you can see, what you're doing.
Right.
And so we have the soul types. The next one we have is the explorer,
Mm.
and I think the explorer is in which category is the explorer
I
in?
think it's still in that. There you go. You folded it up.
I sure did.
Bam.
So we got the explorer that's in the spiritual journey. So
Mm-hmm.
the explorer is in the spiritual journey. This is the one that embodies freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm an explorer. Like I'm a really strong in that area. Um, it says, "Don't fence me in." Yep, that's me. I don't like to be fenced in. I feel
Mm-mm.
so like claustrophobic.
Yep.
Very spontaneous. So yeah, I think I'm an explorer. At least that's the main archetype that I embody is the explorer.
Yes.
Core desire, the freedom to find out who you are through exploring the world. That's me. That's really me.
Yep.
And the goal is to experience a better, more authentic, more fulfilling life. I feel like this is me.
Yeah, and that I can honestly say that I started to embody that type of archetype once I woke up,
Mm-hmm.
because now I want to explore. I want to know, who am I really? What am I really?
Yeah.
Really have those questions for myself, literally.
Now, the biggest fear, and I really know, I really think this is me right here.
Hmm.
Now, the biggest fear for the explorer is getting trapped, conformity, and inner emptiness.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's me right there.
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah.
The the journey, the strategy that they use is journey, and how crazy is this that I call my line journey within, right? So journey, seeking out, experiencing new things, and
Mm.
escape from boredom. Like
Mm.
this is so me. If y'all want to
Yeah.
learn how to be an explorer, come to me.
Yeah. And the funny thing, and this just came to me because so many of us get into situations where we feel like we're trapped, which would be one of the, what is that, the weaknesses or the fears,
Hmm.
the fear of the explorer. But when it comes to some of these archetypes, we're not exploring some of the desires
Hmm.
that these different archetypes want. Because for this particular archetype, like, they wanted to explore the freedom to really find out who they are. But
Hmm.
because some people lean more towards the negative side of their archetype, where they feel like they're trapped, that
Right.
they don't want to go out and actually explore.
Hmm.
When if you actually go out and explore, you can actually find a way to get out of that trap.
Exactly. It says the weakness is aimless wandering and becoming a misfit.
Mm.
However, the talent is anatomy, ambition, being true to one's soul. Boy, this is me to the T.
Yes.
It, it says the explorer is also known as the seeker, the wanderer, the individualist, and the pilgrim. Like,
Mm.
I feel like my whole life is a pilgrim. I'm listening. If you want to learn how to be an explorer, I'll show you because I'm an explorer.
Yeah, just watch Leisha. She will break
Okay.
it down for you.
And the next one is the rebel, and the rebel
Isn't it
comes
in
the which one does the rebel come under?
rebel?
Oh, I don't even think this is a different one. It's not even in here.
No, it's no, well, it's from this, but it's the outlaw.
It's an outlaw. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I guess yeah. I guess you can consider the rebel an outlaw
Mm-hmm.
because the rebel
Yeah.
the yeah same thing the outlaw yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the motto for the rebel is rules are made to be broken. I think I'm a little bit of this too.
This whole section, as far as leaving your mark, when it comes to being a rebel, a magician, and a hero, you're all that.
I think that's me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rebel rules are meant to be broken, and I used to say this when I was growing up. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the core desire, revenge or revolution. I'm always saying it's time to start a revolution. Okay, and the goal is to
Mm-hmm.
overturn what isn't working. Bam, like this matrix. Okay, greatest fear to be powerless or ineffectual,
Mm-hmm.
ineffectual, and this is a fact because when I listen to that thing that's going on with the whole Kobe situation, and I already have a feeling, a gut feeling like something is weird about it. Things like that kind of make you feel powerless in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really can't do much, at least not here. Maybe in the astrals, but not here in the physical.
Right.
So that's true. Okay, so the strategy is to disrupt, destroy, and shock. Yep.
Yep. That's what we do. That's what we
Oh my
do.
gosh, I'm a rebel.
Yeah.
Okay, so weakness, crossing over to the dark side,
Mm.
crime. That's the weakness.
Yeah. Because that's
Okay,
the slippery slope.
it's a slippery slope. And
Mm-hmm.
so talent, outrageous, radical freedom. Oh, that sounds so good. Just the name, radical freedom. And so the outlaw is also known as the rebel. So the rebel, the outlaw, pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if if you want to develop that side of yourself, then you want to look at people who's revolutionary. I would say maybe Bob Marley,
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, people like that. A wild man, somebody who's always getting into like mischief or misfit.
Mm-hmm.
Just anybody who's just going against society's norms and like Rosa Parks, like changing people who are changing stuff
Right.
for the better, right? And the next one we have is the lover,
Mm. The
which
lover
which is the one to connect to
connecting with
others, the
others.
lover. Um, so the whole goal, the motto of the lover is you're the only one, right? And their desire is intimacy and experience. Sounds so romantic. The goal is being in a relationship with people, work and surrounding they love. That's the whole goal. It's just being in a relationship, working with people. Like they are just a lover. They love being in relationships. Now,
Mm-hmm.
their greatest fear is being alone. They don't want to be alone. They don't want to feel like a wallflower, unwanted or unloved. That's sad.
Mm.
And their strategy is to become more and more physically and emotionally attractive. Their weakness is outward directed desire to please others at risk of losing their own identity.
Mm-hmm.
That's tricky.
Yep.
Okay, so the talent is passion, gratitude, appreciation, and commitment, which is beautiful. It says the lover is also known as the partner, the friend, the intimate, the enthusiastic, sensualist, the spouse, like a team builder.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you just gotta look out for the weaknesses and make sure that you're balancing things out. And the next one is the creator, and I think the creator falls under
The artist
the artist. Yes, that's right. The creator or the artist, and
mm-hmm.
that is the
providing structure.
providing structure. Okay, so the motto is for the artist or the creator. It says, "If you can imagine it, it can be done." This is him.
Yep.
Yeah, this is you, baby. This is
Yeah.
you for
This
real.
this me.
This is
Okay.
definitely you. So, core desire to create things of enduring value. That's
Yep.
you. You're always creating all day long. Uh, goal is to realize a vision.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is you. Greatest fear, mediocre vision or execution.
I
Like you
mean,
would
it
fall
it
out
can
if your work don't come out like 100% like how you want it.
if it you know what
Perfectionist.
that's really true because even when I did photography, even when I do photography now, I still get frustrated that
Yeah.
when I snap the picture, it doesn't look like what I envisioned
You
in my
should see.
head.
You should see how he act. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay, task to create culture, express own vision. Yes.
Hmm.
Weakness, perfectionism. What I just the same word I just said.
Yeah. I'm learning to
Weakness,
let go of it a little bit.
perfectionism, and
Hmm.
bad solutions. Talent, creativity, and imagination. You embody this. This is you. I'm gonna put your name right here, my baby, because that's you. Okay, the
Yeah.
creator is also known as the artist, the inventor, the innovator, the musician, writer, and
Hmm.
the dreamer. That's you.
Yeah.
That's me too, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's me too. Yeah. Because when I write
Get lost.
I have all of these when I'm doing my writing. Yeah. So the next one is the jester. You
We're
did
on number 9 right
number
now.
9. You did the jester already, the one that liked to laugh a lot.
I talked about it a little bit, but we
You're
didn't.
gonna go. You're
Yeah.
gonna dive into it. So the
Yeah.
jester. This is another archetype. So their whole thing is their motto is you only live once. I guess this is my son, because he what he
Yeah.
say he here for a
A
good time,
time,
not
not
a
a
long
long
time.
time. I'm like,
I'm
okay,
telling this
Drake.
boy, you gotta eat healthy. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. He's like, Mom, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And I'm like, Are you serious?
Yep.
So I guess that's his archetype. He's the jester. So you only live once. Core desire is to live in the moment with full enjoyment. And we
Mm,
all got to have a little bit of that. A
right.
goal is to have a great time and lighten up the world. I
Yes.
like that. The greatest fear, though, is being bored or boring others.
Mm.
Their strategy is to play, make jokes, and be funny. Their weakness is wasting time. And their talent is joy. Your,
Waste
ta-
a lot of time.
your talent is joy. Okay, so the jester is also known as the fool, the joker, the trickster, the practical joker, or your everyday comedian,
Hmm.
right? And the next one we have is the sage. The sage, this is another one in the spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point, the motto of the sage is the truth will set you free.
Mm. You
Wow.
better say it.
And their core desire is to find the truth. Like that's their whole life purpose is to find the truth. So maybe I'm a sage too.
Yeah, and you know another word for just saying that is a seeker.
Yeah, a seeker. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
seeker of truth.
Yeah, they want to know it for themselves.
Yep. They don't want to believe. They want to know.
They don't
It's,
want to read about it. They don't want to look at no YouTube videos. They want to experience it for themselves.
yep. And their goal is to use intelligence and
Mm-hmm.
analysis to understand the world, not believe what somebody else say. But they
Mm.
want to go and they want to experience it for themselves.
And you know, I really wish that more people would embody this archetype,
The sage.
uh, because it will, you know, it'll break a lot of belief systems. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, because like say for example, this whole race thing, which really doesn't exist. We're all from different tribes or whatever. But anyway, if you really got a chance to go out and experience the life of somebody that's the opposite race of you, or go out and experience the life of somebody that's a different sex than you, or if you go out and even deeper, if you go out and experience the life of somebody else, if you're a heterosexual, you go out and experience the life of somebody who's a lesbian or that's gay or that's transgender, you know, if you get a chance to get out and explore how they really live their lives, you would look at things totally differently.
And then that'll be yoga. That'll be
Mm-hmm.
union. Now their biggest fear is being misled
Mm-hmm.
or ignorance. Like I guess ignorance really
Mm-hmm.
they're fearful of ignorance. Wow. I mean
It's like they're allergic. They're
they're
allergic to it.
allergic to ignorance. That's interesting. Okay, so their strategy is seeking out information and knowledge, self-reflection and understanding thought
Mm-hmm.
process. So they strive to understand like really how things work, the working of the mind, just knowledge in itself, do a lot of self-reflection.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good archetype to embody. Their
Yep.
weaknesses is can study details forever and never act. Maybe I'm a
Yeah.
sage.
You know,
Okay.
as we go through and we read each one of these, and you know, when I first started out reading this information and reflecting on it for myself, I was thinking, can somebody embody one or all of these at the same time? And to be honest, when you look through each one of these, like there's just a little piece of me in each one of these archetypes.
Yeah.
So we really have all of these archetypes in it, and depending on the situation and
Hmm.
circumstances, we, some archetypes show up stronger than others,
Yeah.
and then other ones at times fall back.
Yeah.
But they're all in there.
They're in there, but we just have to be aware of it. We have to bring it to the forefront. Be conscious of it so you can know what role you're playing at what time
Mm-hmm.
instead of playing it accidentally. This is why we're doing this. So you're not showing up by accident. You're showing up on purpose.
There you go.
Okay? So talent is wisdom and intelligence for the sage. The sage is also known as the expert, the scholar, the detective, the advisor, the thinker, the philosopher,
Mm-hmm.
right? The academic, the researcher, the thinker, the seeker, the mentor, the teacher. So these are the type of individuals or people or whatever experts that would embody this particular archetype. So if this
Mm-hmm.
is something that you want to work on, go look at a philosopher, Socrates, whatever the hell their names. Um,
Plato,
Plato,
Socrates,
Socrates, Hippocrates. What's his name?
Oh wow.
Hippocrates. Hippocrates. Go look and see how they did things, right? I call him a hypocrite. No, his name is not hypocrite. It's Hippocrates. If that's how you say it.
I
It's I
but
think it's
I
Hippocrates.
think you're saying it wrong. I,
Isn't that
and
Hippocrates?
now you keep saying it. I can't think about it. But
How you say his name?
hold
I
on.
think it's
Now you
Hippocrates.
gonna make me look it up. Hold on.
How y'all say his name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Oh, he look.
Philosopher.
Just type in his name. There you go, Hippocrates.
Yeah, Hippocrates.
See,
Yeah.
I said it right. I know. I was just being messy and joking. Because his name looks like hypocrite. That's why I say that. Y'all don't pay me no mind.
Oh
See,
boy.
that was my archetype coming out, the comedian. You see
Yeah.
that? That's the comedian.
Yeah. And to thankful one, um, I mean, there are some quizzes out there that you can take to see which one of these
Yes,
archetypes that you embody.
the most.
But to be honest, if you go through and you Google 12 archetypes,
Mm-hmm.
you can go through and read each one of those and you can identify for yourself
Yes.
to see which one of these you embody the most.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, a lot of us are going to embody a lot of these at certain points in our lives.
Yeah, depending on what situation and depending on what job you might have
Mm-hmm.
or who you're around, because different people get different personalities pretty much of
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. Because when you're around your mom, you might be somebody else different might be showing up than when you're with your girlfriend.
Mm. Say it.
So you see what I'm saying? So
Better
these are
say
these are
that.
archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the magician, right? The magician, their motto is I make things happen.
Mm.
I know I'm a magician because I make stuff happen.
Yep.
Okay, so you got to know when to be the magician, when to make stuff shake, when to make it
Mm-hmm.
happen. Okay, core desire, understanding the fundamental laws of the universe. I know right now I'm a magician.
Oh
Goal
boy.
is to make dreams come true. I am a magician.
Yes.
Greatest fear, unintended negative consequences. Yes,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I must say
Because when
that.
we go through and do our magic, we mean
Yeah,
no harm, but
yeah,
sometimes there's collateral damage.
right. So
Mm-hmm.
strategy, develop a vision and live by it. Yes, I think I like the
Mm-hmm.
magician. Weakness, becoming manipulative. Yeah, that is a weakness right there.
Mm-hmm.
Talent, finding win-win solutions. I
Awesome.
think I'm really good at finding win-win
Yeah, you are.
solutions.
You are.
Okay, so the magician is also known as the visionary, the catalyst, the inventor,
Mm-hmm.
charismatic leader, shaman, healer, medicine man. So if you want to develop your magician archetype within your own self,
Mm-hmm.
then you go and you look for some type of shaman. I know I have a shaman,
Yep.
visionary. Look for those type of people and look at them and see what they do. Look at their techniques, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next one is the ruler, and the ruler is in the
Building
structure,
structure.
provide structure. So their
Mm-hmm.
motto is power isn't everything. Oh wow, the ruler got some issues. There's some ego stuff here. The ruler, the motto said, "Power isn't everything. It's the only thing." Boy, I tell
Oh
you,
wow.
that's some ego problems right there. Their core desire is to control. That's their only desire in life is to control. Their goal is to create a prosperous, successful family
Oh.
or community, right? Their strategy is exercise power. This is an ego. This is an ego trip. Exercise power. Greatest fear: chaos or being overthrown. They don't
Mm.
like that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, weakness. Unable to delegate. So if they can't tell somebody what to do, they
They
don't like that. That's their weakness.
they're a little beside themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so their talent is, but this is good though for the ruler. Their talent
Mm-hmm.
is responsibility and leadership,
Yes.
right? And so for the ruler, you might have a boss, you might have a leader, king, queen, role model, manager. One of those would be a good example of who to look at to try to see
Mm-hmm.
how to exercise power if you need to, how to pull from within, right? And I think
That's
that's
for all. That's
that's the
all 12 of
archetypes.
them.
Yeah, that's the 12
Yeah.
archetypes.
Yeah. So you can definitely go through and thank you so much
Yeah.
to hold on, to Christina for the donation, just for the love. We really really appreciate that. That was so awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This was fun. I enjoyed
Yes.
this.
Yes, and like we said, there are a bunch of different articles out there But we just wanted to shed some light on these archetypes because it can really help you along in your journey with getting to know yourself. Man,
Mm-hmm.
know thyself.
Yep.
Woman, know thyself.
Unlocking those
Yeah.
gifts within you. And just to briefly go over the archetypes that we covered, because I some people have been joining us. If you guys are new to our channel, welcome, and please give us a little thumbs up if this information is helpful
Yes.
to you. So the archetypes that we went over was the artist, the innocent, the sage, the explorer, the outlaw, the magician, the hero, the lover, the jester, the everyday man, the caregiver, and the ruler.
Yes.
And these all play a role in our everyday life, whether we realize it or not. The whole purpose of this is to get us to realize when we're doing it and when we need to do it and when we need to use these archetypes so that we can get to the greatest and best versions of ourselves because we use it every day, whether we realize it or not. But if you can recognize it on purpose and live on
Mm-hmm.
purpose, it's better.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you all who may just have a question, and it's funny. We didn't think about this until yesterday. Was that if you all have any questions, you, I know some YouTubers want you to drop a donation just to ask a question.
Oh,
You don't have to do that here. The only time we ask for a donation is if we're pulling some cards
oh
for
yeah.
you. But if you just have a question that you want us to dive into while we're on the live, you can definitely do so. Just drop those questions down in the comments, and we'll
Yeah.
be more than happy to dive into it. But for those of you all who are looking for a card reading, you can definitely send a donation of $10 or more, whichever you want to do, and we'll be more than happy to pull a card for you. And
Yes.
thankful one, you are so welcome. We didn't consider ourselves as teachers at first, but it definitely came to Leisha when she pulled some cards for her early in her awakening, where it told her that she needed to teach.
And I'm like, I'm not teaching because I don't know what to teach. And then I pulled it again and I got the
Hmm.
same cards. Like, how crazy is that? Who gets the same cards
Hmm.
months after? Like, I didn't even touch the pad because I'm like, what am I going to teach? I don't know what to teach. Y'all just my high self, leave me alone. I'm not teaching.
Yep,
And
yep,
then I
yep.
did it again a couple months after and I got the same exact four cards. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like
Mm.
this, I was like, okay, I guess I will.
And thankful one, you have your question is how do you know who? Well, excuse me. How do I know who my twin flame is for sure?
Mm, good question.
That is a question that comes up quite frequently,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, I think I'm going to tackle it a different way this evening.
Alrighty now.
Um, when it comes to asking who your twin flame is, um, okay, first things first, which is one thing that we've gone into before, is that in order to really get a definite answer of who your twin flame is, you would have to get that answer from your higher self,
Right.
your spirit guides,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, your higher self or your spirit guides. So whoever you consider to be God to be for you.
Right.
Now, but when you ask that question, and this is just coming to me intuitively, is that the best question to ask is for self, higher self, to reveal to you who should be in your life if you're looking for someone on a romantic aspect or if you're looking for somebody to just work with. Because when it comes to twin flames, it's not always going to be a romantic thing, it's not always going to be a mission thing, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they may just come just to ignite you,
Right.
to start you on your spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be very specific when you ask these questions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for somebody who you want to be with romantically, that person may not necessarily be your twin flame. They may just be your soul mate.
Then that's important to know.
Okay.
Now, if you want to find out who your twin flame is and you don't want to do any type of like soul work and shadow work, and you want someone to tell you who your twin flame is, you can always go to Peru in Machu Picchu
Mm-hmm.
and, get one of those people who live with the trees that's connected with everything and all,
Like
and they
that
touch
thumb.
your third eye, and they'll be able to tell you everything about your whole life, including your life mission. That's
Mm-hmm.
another option, but that's kind of like the lazy route.
Mm-hmm.
We would definitely recommend like doing your own soul journey and discovering your own self. That way, it's better when you do your own soul journey and your own
Mm-hmm.
soul work, um, and have like a discovery, like a euphoria, like a uncovering, like a apocalypse of your own.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more appreciated. It's kind of like this. Let's say you somebody give you like $100, right? Or somebody just give you, here's $200. You're gonna look at the $200. You're gonna be like, okay, cool. Let me go buy me some Nikes. You know, you want to blow the whole $200.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had to work a, like 6 12-hour shifts for $200, would you go and buy some Nikes with that money?
Nope.
You gonna put that thing so far in some type of savings account and pinch it every day? It's like
Mm-hmm.
you have more appreciation
Mm-hmm.
for um you have more appreciation for that money that you actually put in work to receive than if
Right.
somebody just handed it to you.
Right.
And then you'll spend it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do, again, you can go to Machu Picchu and get one of those people that live in the bushes,
One of the
the
shamans,
shamans.
or go down to Arizona.
Yeah, drink some
Uh,
ayahuasca, whatever, some
mm-hmm.
mushrooms, and they'll pretty much tell you whatever you want to know. They'll reveal the whole thing to you. I mean,
Yeah.
there are people who can actually do this.
Yep.
But it's always better for you to do it for your own self. It's just better somehow when you're able to uncover your own self and your own gift.
Yeah.
You know.
Because that there's the danger of getting things in a speedy way. Think about it like this. You have a rubber band, right? A rubber band has so much elasticity on it. But if you take that rubber band and you just what's the word I'm looking for? If you just quickly expand that rubber band too fast, even though it may go out as far as its elasticity, it will pop.
And then it'll sting you.
Yeah, then it'll sting you. But so you have to tread cautiously,
Mhm.
because like they said, fast money is not good money. The grass is not always green on the other side, and so you really have to take your time. It's like well, we were talking. We did a session right before we did this live, and we were telling the young lady that if you plant a seed for an apple tree to grow, when you put that seed in the ground, it's not gonna have a full blown tree the next morning. It takes
Mhm.
time.
Right.
But you
Right.
have to be willing to put in that work. You have to get out there. You got to dig up the dirt. You got to put the seed down just far enough so that it can feel the warmth from the sun and it can
Mhm.
soak up the water. And then you have to go out there and you have to go back and water it. Make sure that it's getting the right nutrients that it needs. You got to
Yeah.
make sure that soil is right. You got to put in a lot of work in order for that tree to grow up to be 100 foot tree
Yeah.
that bears fruit.
And let nature help you. Let it
Hmm.
take its course. For your twin flame, you really want to find out who your twin flame is. Go and do some shadow work.
Hmm.
Go and do some soul work. Go within and discover who you are. Instead of asking who is my twin, you really need to ask
Who
who
am I?
who who am I?
Yeah, because that's one thing, and that's something we've been saying since day one, and I don't think we've said it too much recently.
Yeah.
But when it comes to twin flames, your twin flame is you. At the end of the day, your twin flame is you.
Mhm.
Like if y'all, to be honest, if y'all would have switched me and Leisha, you wouldn't know that we were switched because we're that much alike. Like
Mhm.
she is really me and I'm really her.
That's for real, cause it's like it's really switched.
Right.
Even with our signs,
Yeah.
with me being a Pisces moon and you being a Pisces sun,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a Libra
Son.
sun and you're a Libra moon,
Right.
we really, it's kind of like It's weird.
Yeah. But really getting to know who I am, I know who she is,
Yeah.
and vice versa. So if you really and actually that's probably the first thing I should have led with, and I do apologize. But if you really want to know who your twin flame is, get to know who you are first.
That is key component to the ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, you just have to. That's like trying to baking a cake without some type of flour ingredients or something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you need something to hold it, the consistency. So you have to know who you are. And the only way you can discover who you are is by doing some serious integration and some shadow work and
Mm-hmm.
going down in those parts that you done tucked away, you forgot about, you didn't even know it was there, you forgot about it,
Mm-hmm.
and you face it. You won't have to cry. You might, you know, it's a lot of stuff. But
Right.
once you come to terms with yourself, you come to terms with who you are. You accept yourself. You collect all the fragments of yourself that you
Mm.
separated from, and you
Mm-hmm.
become whole again. Then that question, it answers
By
automatically
itself.
by itself.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Then
you're gonna do a little bit of work. It's okay. It's
yeah.
it's gonna be worth it.
Let me see. I want to, cause I saw the comments coming in. Thank you, Marshawn, for jumping in and helping each other,
Marshawn is so amazing.
and thank you, Alexis, for jumping in
Alexis,
and
thank
helping
you.
people. Thank y'all. Y'all are just so awesome. But let me
Love you
just
guys.
scroll back through and see if we missed any questions.
She said
Uh,
that's what somebody said. That's why I love Sage.
mm-hmm. How do I know what the is? I don't even need to.
I didn't know I needed that question to be asked. Oh,
Mm,
okay, cool.
good one, good one. Thank you for
Yeah,
asking.
that's a very good question,
Yeah.
guys. So yeah, if you want to know who your twin flame is, you first have to know who you are. And please, guys, watch The Gift. Go and watch The Gift.
On
It's
Netflix.
on Netflix. You have to watch The Gift. That movie is dope. And I'm thinking on a download that The Gift is a twin flame series. I'm thinking on the download because they both had a mission, okay? And their mission was predicted even before they even knew they was gonna be together when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she was sitting next to
Oh, it's
him,
11:11.
oh, it's 11:11. I woke up at 11:11 the other day. I keep seeing 11:11. Even today I saw it. But anyhow, I'm thinking that The Gift is a twin flame movie because when he was sitting next to her, I'm just gonna give a little spoiler. He told her on The
Mm-hmm.
Gift, he said, "You know what? Every time I come around you, all my problems go away." And she looked at him. He's like, "Yeah, you're like a flame."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, snippity snap." And
Oh
she
boy.
left her wedding. She was getting ready to get married to this millionaire guy. Like, she was set for life. These people
Mm-hmm.
are filthy, demonic rich. Like, they have all the money because he done sold his soul. He talks to this demon, whatever. But
Right.
he is that rich. And she was supposed to get married to her fiance. She left the fiance at the altar to go be with her twin flame. So what? This is crazy.
That's how it is.
This is crazy.
That's how it
And
is.
then when she met him, that's when she really started awaken. She started having her awakening. When she met him, things started making sense. She started discovering her gifts, and she could touch you and she can see like your trauma and stuff. That was her gift, and it really started to develop after she met him. And then he started to
Mm.
develop his spiritual gifts also. There were two cuckoo for cocoa puffs. Like, it was crazy. Y'all gotta watch it. This is really good. The Gift on Netflix.
All right. Well, seeing that it's 11:11 and we got to get up
Oh shoot!
early.
I forgot it's a week.
It is a weekday, so we
I
ain't gonna
forgot it's
hold
a
y'all. We're
weekday.
not gonna hold y'all too much longer, but
My bad.
um, we love y'all. We hope y'all enjoy your evening. Hopefully, this information was helpful for you. Once again, if you are new to this channel and you haven't joined in, I don't know what you're waiting on. Hit that subscribe button. Give us that thumbs up if this information has been helpful for you.
Turn your bell.
Yes, and we are out this piece
We go
so
back to
that
go
we
to
can.
sleep.
Yes, we gotta go to sleep. So we love y'all.
Love you guys.
Peace out.
Peace.